First, it is necessary to take a look at David, the psalmist par excellence. It is surprising that David is presented in the historical books of the Bible, especially those of Samuel, as a singer and a harp or string player. According to these narratives, he cast out the gloomy and depressive thought of Saul. David's music, therefore, has a healing and therapeutic power. The titles of the psalm present David as a praying man par excellence. In his ups and downs of life, in successes and failures, David entrusts his life to God. The Psalms are therefore linked to specific phases of David's life. They become prayers which accompany the life journey of David. Persecution and tribulation, successes and failures, God's joyful closeness, and the heavy sense of guilt. David entrusts all these often contradictory experiences to God. In this way, he becomes, for the psalmist, throughout the generation, the model of those who pray. Whatever happens, it is important to confidently put your life back in God's hands, so that new paths can be opened. The German Jewish writer Nelly Sachs rightly described David in synthetic language. But in manly age, he, the father of poets, weighed down by desperation, measured the distance from God, and built psalms as night shelters for the wounds of the journey. He measured in despair the distance from God and built night shelters for those wounded in the journey. Through these profound images, Nelly Sachs grasped in a timely way what the Psalms wants to be, so that the life of man can be healed. When the New Testament scriptures refer to Jesus as Son of David, their authors have in mind Israel's messianic expectations. The Jewish brothers and sisters know that they are linked to David when they pray the Psalms. As an emblem of hope, he accompanies them with his Psalms until the dawn of the messianic kingdom of justice and peace. Christians know that they are in the company of Jesus, who also pray the Psalms. They are praying the Psalms with him, who is the Son of David. And those who have received the gift of recognizing in Jesus of Nazareth, Son of David, the luminous presence of the Son of God, and of believing in him, walk and grow with Christ towards the vital and relational space that opens up in the Spirit of the risen Lord, and that allows them to cry out in hope and praise, Abba, Father. Finally, as an example, let's look at Psalm 13. It is a typical psalm of lamentation. It illustrates the path of prayers to which the Psalms of Lamentation invites us. For the leader's Psalm of David. How long, Lord, will you utterly forget me? How long will you hide your face from me? How long must I carry sorrow in my soul, grief in my heart day after day? How long will my enemy triumph over me? Look upon me, answer me, Lord, my God. Give light to my eyes, lest I sleep in death. Lest my enemy say, I have prevailed. Lest my foes rejoice at my downfall. But I trust in your mercy. Grant my heart joy in your salvation. I will sing to the Lord, for he has dealt bountifully with me. The starting point of the prayer of lamentation is therefore to turn to God as dew of life, even if it seems to have disappeared. A second step, to give suffering a name, a face. The psalmist names three dimensions of suffering. The fundamental suffering is distance from God. How long, O Lord, will you continue to forget me? How long will you hide your face from me? At the same time, the inner life, the landscape of the soul of the person who prays is upset. How long must I carry sorrow in my soul, grief in my heart, day after day? Finally, the social environment is also experienced as hostile. How long will my enemy triumph over me? In this way, the three fundamental dimensions of human existence are deeply affected by suffering: the relationship with God, the relationship with oneself, and with the social environment. Not to suppress the phases of suffering, but to perceive them carefully, to give them a name, a face, is decisive for the path of the one who prays, so that he or she can escape from anguish. In a third phase, prayer becomes a plea, a passionate plea for salvation and liberation. This request includes a willingness to change oneself where necessary. This distinguishes biblical lamentation from widespread self-centered complaining. Like the previous lament, supplication also lists the various dimensions of suffering. Starting from the fundamental one, distance from God. Look upon me, answer me, Lord my God. The psalmist expresses his request for interior renewal in figurative words. Give light to my eyes, lest I sleep in death. Another necessary step on the path of prayer of the Psalms is to mobilize the strength of trust. In thy mercy I have trusted. The power of trust is rooted in the depths of a human being, deep down where the wound hurts, and even more deeply, there dwells the trust that comes from each person's creaturely relationship with God. At my birth, you have gathered me. From my mother's womb, you are my God. And finally, as the fifth and final step, there is a thanksgiving and praise at the end of the lament. I will sing to the Lord, because he has dealt bountifully with me. We conclude with the decisive steps of this prayer's journey. 1. Turning towards God. 2. Giving a name, a face to suffering. 3. Asking for help and salvation with a willingness to do one's part. 4. Mobilizing the power of trust, which is deeply rooted in us and wants to be awakened. 5. In thanksgiving and praise, anticipating with confidence the future of salvation and the victory of God. Biblical prayer, the prayer of the Psalms, look at life as a whole, with its light and shadows, and allows it to unfold before God. It strengthens our union with God and at the same time helps us to develop our humanity. The Psalms are night shelters for the wounds of the journey. And perhaps for this very reason, they are a precious gift for the wounded humanity of today.